Hey everyone, welcome back to Data Science. In this video, I'll be telling you about a new Chinese open source AI model called DeepSeek R1. They say that this model, DeepSeek R1, beats OpenAI's O1 model. So we'll have a look about it that whether this model actually beats OpenAI's O1 model or not. And I'll be telling you all about this model, so stay tuned until the end so that you don't miss any information regarding it. So let's get right into it. So here they say that the Chinese open source AI model called DeepSeek R1. It matches OpenAI's O1 model at 98% lower cost. DeepSeek R1, it's free and open source, and for the API, the cost is very cheap. It is said that this free and open source AI model can match or exceed the performance of OpenAI's most advanced reasoning system. Now, what makes this even more remarkable was how they did it. They did it by letting the AI teach itself through trial and error, similar to how humans learn. DeepSeek R10, a model trained by large scale reinforcement learning, without supervised fine tuning as a primary step, and it demonstrates the remarkable reasoning capability. So, what is reinforcement learning? So, reinforcement learning is a method in which a model is rewarded for making good decisions and punished for making bad ones without knowing which one is which. And after a series of decisions, it learns from its mistakes, and it also learns to follow a path that was reinforced by those results. And initially, what happens is that during the supervised fine tuning phase, is that a group of humans tells the model what output do they want, giving it the context to know what's good and what isn't. And this leads to the next phase, which is reinforcement learning, in which the model provides different outputs and human rank the best ones. And this process is repeated over and over until the model knows how to consistently provide the good and satisfactory results. But for this model, they did not need the supervised fine tuning method. They just used reinforcement learning method and the result was brilliant. Why DeepSeek R1 is a steer in AI development is because humans have a minimum part in the training. How other models that are trained on vast amounts of supervised data, DeepSeek R1 learns through mechanical reinforcement learning, essentially figuring things out by experimenting and getting feedback on what works. Through reinforcement learning through RL, DeepSeek R10, it naturally emerges with numerous powerful and interesting reasoning behaviors that researchers said in their paper. The model even developed the sophisticated capabilities like self verification and reflection without being explicitly programmed to do so. And as this model went through the training process, it naturally learned to allocate more the thinking time to complex problems and develop the ability to catch its own mistakes. The researchers highlighted an aha moment where the model learned to reevaluate its initial approaches to problems, something it wasn't explicitly programmed to do. And even the performance numbers are impressive. On the AIME 2024 mathematics benchmark, DeepSeek R1 achieved a 79.8% success rate, surpassing OpenAI's own reasoning model. And on the coding test, it demonstrated expert level performance, achieving a 2029 ELO rating on code forces and outperforming 96.3% of human competitors. Here, if you see the image in which the DeepSeek R1, you see here, the DeepSeek R1, it in most of it, it outperforms O1 model, and in some, it matches it. So either it matches it or either it outperforms the OpenAI's O1 model. One more thing that really sets DeepSeek R1 model apart is the costs. So the model run queries at just $0.14 per million tokens compared to OpenAI's $7.50, making it 98% cheaper. And unlike the other models, DeepSeek R1's code and training methods are completely open source under the MIT license, meaning anyone can grab the model, use it, and modify it without restrictions. How the AI leaders react. So, the release of DeepSeek R1 has triggered an avalanche of responses from the AI industry leaders. with many highlighting the significance of a fully open source model matching proprietary leaders in reasoning capabilities. NVIDIA's top researcher, also Dr. Jim Fan, delivered perhaps the most pointed commentary, drawing a direct parallel to OpenAI's original mission. We are living in a timeline where a non US company is keeping the original mission of OpenAI alive, truly open frontier research that empowers all, praising the DeepSeek transparency. So here is the tweet of Dr. Jim Fan. Here he also shares the image of the DeepSeek R1 Zero compared to the OpenAI O1 Mini and OpenAI O1. And you see here the score of it. In some of it, you can see it's higher. Well, in most of it, it's higher than the other one. Fan also called out the significance of DeepSeek's reinforcement learning approach. He says that they are perhaps the first open source software project that shows the major sustained growth of a reinforcement learning flywheel. He also lauded DeepSeek's straightforward sharing of raw algorithms and matplotlib learning caves versus the hype driven announcements more common in the industry. Even Apple researcher, he mentioned that people can run a quantized version of the model locally on their maps. Here you can see they can say that the DeepSeek R1 671 billion parameters running on the two M2 Ultras faster than reading speed. And traditionally, Apple devices, how they have been weak at AI due to their lack of compatibility with NVIDIA's CUDA software, but that appears to be changing. For example, AI researcher Alex Chima was capable of running the full model after harnessing the power of 8 Apple Mac Mini units running together, which is still cheaper than the servers required to run most powerful AI models currently available. And they say that the users can also run the lighter versions of the DeepSeek R1 on their Macs with their good levels of accuracy and efficiency. And DeepSeek has also tweeted that the DeepSeek R1 is here, performance on par with OpenAI O1, and its fully open source model and technical report, and its MIT license. And they say that the website and API are live now. You can also try DeepThink at chat.deepseek.com today. And some most reaction also came after pondering how close the open source industry is to the proprietary models and the potential impact this development may have for OpenAI as a leader in the field of reasoning AI model. Even Stability's AI founder, Imad Mustaq, took a provocative stance, suggesting the release puts pressure on better funded competitors. He says that can you imagine being a frontier lab that's raised like $1 billion and now you can't release your latest model because it can't beat DeepSeek? And following the same reasoning, but with a more serious argumentation, even tech entrepreneur Arnaud Bertrand explained that the emergence of a competitive open source model may be potentially harmful to OpenAI since that makes its model less attractive to power users who might otherwise be willing to spend a lot of money per task. And they say that most people don't realize how bad news China's DeepSeek is for OpenAI, and they've come up with a model that matches and even exceed OpenAI's latest model O1 on various benchmarks, and they're charging just 3% of the price. And even Perplexity's AI CEO, Arvind Srinivas, framed the release in terms of its market impact. They say that DeepSeek has largely replicated O1 Mini and has open sourced it. And in a follow up observation, he also noted the rapid. He says that it's kind of wild to see reasoning get commoditized this fast. A little test was also done to compare the model against OpenAI's O1, starting with the well known question for these kinds of benchmarks: how many R's are in the word strawberry? Typically, models struggle to provide the correct answer because they don't work with words, they work with tokens. And GPT 4.0 failed, OpenAI O1 succeeded, and so did DeepSeek R1. And I'll show you here in DeepSeek R1. And when I ask the question, how many R's in the word strawberry? So the model says that thought for 28 seconds, and then it says that I need to figure out how many times the letter R appears in the word strawberry, and then he says let me spell it out, and then it starts breaking it down that strawberry. So after thinking and counting the letters, taking some time, So it reached the conclusion that the word strawberry is spelled Strawberry. And then after breaking it down, they say the letter R appear at positions 3, 8, and 9. And they say hence there are three R's in the word strawberry. So DeepSeek gave this answer. Whereas when I asked it the same question in ChatGPT, it gave the answer that there are two R's in the word strawberry. However, in actual, the word strawberry has three R's, but ChatGPT failed in this task and DeepSeek succeeded in it. There was another test that I gave DeepSeek R1 to check how good the models were at reasoning. There was a story to play spies, and they had to identify the stalker in a short story. And this sample was taken from the Big Bench dataset on GitHub. So you can go to GitHub. So here you can go to GitHub and take the story, like take the input from it, and there is the answer also, which you can check from it whether the model gave the correct answer or not. So I chose the story and I put it on DeepSeek R1 here. I put it on DeepSeek R1. After that, thinking for itself, by thinking and taking some time, it gave the correct answer, which was the stalker is Leo. So the story was kind that the people are disappearing after going to the washroom, but and there is a stalker. So you have to find the stalker. After thinking, it gave the answer that the stalker is Leo, and the answer is correct because if you check in GitHub, the answer is Leo, which is the stalker. But when it was given to ChatGPT crashed before solving the mystery. So the accessibility also of smaller versions also impressed the researchers. Like 1.5 billion model is so small that you could run it locally on a powerful smartphone. And even a quantized version of DeepSeek R1 that small was also able to stand face to face against GPT-4o and Claude 3.5 Sonnet. According to Hugging Face data scientist Vaibhav Srivastav. So according to this person also, a small model also outperformed GPT-4o and Claude 3.5 Sonnet. So here is the official website of the deepseek.com, and here you can click start now to use the DeepSeek R1 model. When you go to DeepSeek R1 model, what you need to click on Deep Think, which is the R1 model, so that it thinks and gives you the answer based on it. You can also get the DeepSeek app also, which is the free all-in-one AI tool also. There's an app also for DeepSeek, and you can also get the DeepSeek R1 API from GitHub and Hugging Face also. You can click here for details, and it will go to this website for the DeepSeek R1 release and how you can use chat.deepseek.com to try DeepThink, the DeepSeek R1 model. And also here is the benchmark, the performance of it against the benchmarks for DeepSeek R1, and the 32 billion and 70 billion models are on par with OpenAI O1 Mini. And regarding the API price, so it's $0.14 per 1 million input tokens, the cache hit, and $0.55 for 1 million input tokens for the cache miss, and $2.19 for 1 million output tokens. And there's also the API guide also, which you can click on it to guide you for the API. When I click on this for the API guide, it shows you how to use the API. So it shows you the guide of it, the full guide of it, that what code to use to install the API. If you found this video helpful, do like, subscribe, and comment whether you like this model or not. So that's all from my side. Catch you next time. Bye bye.